Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to do a little update about Texas AG Ken Paxton, his impeachment, as well as a few Ohio stories of the day. And mostly, the main story is going to be about Paxton and the GOP infighting in the state of Texas right now. So, I've got a few things I want to discuss here from this, including what potentially led to Paxton being impeached in the fucking first place, which is over the, and it was him basically going to sue Big Pharma, is what it was. So, yeah, needless to say, we're going to start out this episode today discussing about. Hang on, I'm trying to grab this document right here because we're going to talk about the statement that was given out by the GOP here, which is. Let's see here if I can screen share this real quick. You had a statement on Paxton impeachment proceedings. Speaker Dade Fillin, I think is the pronounced guy's name, and his leadership team have appointed Democrats to high-ranking positions, attacked the Republican Party of Texas, battled our conservative lieutenant governor, and killed Governor Abbott's top priorities. The impeachment proceedings against the Attorney General are but the latest front in the Texas's House war against Republicans to stop the conservative direction of the state. This sham impeachment is a result of the fill-in leadership team empowering Democrats, allowing them to hold leadership positions and letting them control the agenda. It is based on allegations already litigated by voters, led by a liberal speaker trying to undermine his conservative adversaries, and investigated by lawyers connected to a Democrat on the House General Investigations Committee. The voters have supported General Paxton, Attorney General Ken Paxton, through 3 elections, and his popularity has only grown despite millions of dollars spent to try to defeat him. Now the Texas House is trying to overturn the election results. It seems Texas Republicans will have to rely yet again on the principled leadership of the Texas Senate to restore sanity and reason to our state. That was from Matt Rendali, chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. So, yeah, very interesting statement, honestly. And it does kind of remind me of something here in Ohio, It reminds me of the bullshit Jason Stevens pulled about 4 months ago or so, when he literally went and jerked off Allison Russo's bitch ass and got her and the other 31 Democrats in the state house to vote him in the speakership, along with 21 Republicans, instead of Derek Marin, who they pretty much already picked at that point last December to be the new speaker. So, it's fucked up, man. The thing is, and this is something I've learned in the last 5-6 years now of political bullshit and basically the scumbaggery and the corruption in the state house is what it is. There is corruption on every single party, and by every single party I mean Democrats and Republicans as the 2 major parties is what it is, because most states don't recognize those 2 parties now through bullshit primarying and stuff like that. And just like Ohio, how back in 2013 we actually had the ability to have minor parties in our state house and stuff like that, and be able to do primaries and stuff like that, and be recognized as Libertarian Party or Green Party, whatever the case be, Constitution Party, et cetera, et cetera. But then you had fucking scumbag John Kasich back then, who fucked us all over and basically made it a 2-party primary system. That's what it is. And it's what every single state house across this country, for the most part, does now. Or it's something weird where you have like places like Minnesota where they call themselves like Democrat Farmer Union or something like that, even though it's just communism, socialism bullshit is what it actually is, dude. And it's the same exact thing in California and fucking Oregon and Washington State and stuff like that, where they have, Democrat socialism, or it's a socialist party of whatever the fuck. And yeah, it's just socialism, dude, is what it is. Socialism is just communism and cultural Marxism for that matter as well. It's all bullshit that we don't want to take over this country is what it is, dude. And that alone disqualifies people from running, honestly, at that point. So, But the entire point I'm trying to make is that you can see parallels between Texas and Ohio right now when it comes to corruption. And what's funny to me is that that Dade guy, who's the Texas Speaker of the House right now, there is a video floating around, I believe it was Twitter, as of a couple days ago, where it actually shows that guy pretty much fucking hammered on the House floor. There is what it is, and it's like, this is the fucking guy that's trying to impeach Paxton. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and fucking like jerk Ken Paxton off and be like, oh yeah, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and shit like that. Because from every Texan I've talked to that are friends of mine, they're all like, nah, this guy's kind of a piece of shit, honestly, and so is everybody else for that matter. It's like, exactly, dude. Like, I think we're all starting to wake up to that whole thing. Is like, it's time to get rid of career politicians in this country, period, and have new people take over that are legit constitutionalist types. Is what it is. But anyway, so yeah, there was that thing about the infighting there. And then we had what I thought was very interesting, which was this chick here that goes by Texas Lindsay, was talking about the potential real reason why Paxton was being impeached here, which is, so I can find it real quick. There it is. Yeah, she said, why are they trying to impeach Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton? 1 month ago, as reported by someone at the New York Post, Paxton announced his new investigation into whether Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson misled Texans, and so forth and so on some stuff with, clinical, what you have you and whatnot there, and GBD jab stuff. So, yeah. And then it's interesting because we got less than a month later, story came out. The House brought impeachment proceedings against Paxton. So, yeah, very, very, very interesting, dude. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I think it's very interesting, honestly. It would not surprise me, honestly, at this point. Because that's what it is, man. It seems like when people are getting shit done, it's like all of a sudden you got people that are, in the big pharmaceutical companies' pockets and stuff like that, and you have them, be like, oh, we got to get rid of this motherfucker now, kind of thing is what it is. Who knows, man? It's all interesting though, and yeah, could be something, could be nothing, could be people just trying to sit there and grandstand for Paxton is what it is. I don't really care either way, honestly. I personally think, truthfully, if they're gonna try to pull that shit with Ken Paxton though, and that potentially is a reason why, I think it's time for the people of Texas to impeach Dade's ass too, as well. On that point, dude, and get a new Speaker of the House there in Texas. So that's my personal opinion on that one. Anyway, moving on to a couple other stories I want to talk about. One of them was about gun stuff and them trying to fuck around with our, you know, laws and stuff like that, and then talk about like basically bullshit about safe storage laws. It's that Morgan Trow woman who is, for all intents and purposes, a total fucking media shill for ABC, is what it is. She's a mainstream media fucking shill. She's a scumbag. And she wants to sit there and bitch and moan about guns all the time, is what it is, dude. And then we also have another one out of a small town here in Ohio called Nelsonville that nobody knows who's in charge of it. And apparently it had like 10 different fucking city managers. Video goes out now. I'm assuming you guys can still hear me though, which is good, obviously. All right, I should be back now. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this Ohio story here, which is Ohio Governor Mike DeWine ignores questions about gun safety amid state lawsuit against Columbus gun law. So basically, what's happening there is, and this is what the chick also said about this, was about how it was like some 7-year-old getting shot in Cleveland, but yet they'll never actually mention how it was a black on black crime again, and it was a bunch of kids who didn't have the first little bit of knowledge about gun safety and proper firearms handling and stuff like that, which is what we're doing here in the state. Honestly, every state for that matter across this country, have it be forced safe storage If I want to store stuff safely myself, that's on me. If I have no kids in my home and I want to, store it how the fuck I want to store it, it's my business too as well. I shouldn't be catching felony charges from some fucking dick stain breaking my Fourth Amendment rights to legal search and seizure of my home to come in and fucking search my shit. Is what it is, dude. And that's exactly what those mandatory safe storage laws do. Is what it is. They basically fuck with the Fourth Amendment rights. It's why they're illegal as fuck. It's why they're unconstitutional as fuck. And the people fuck off is what it is, dude. So, anyway, business continues on here. It said, questions about gun safety, which came on a day a 7-year-old was shot in the head in Cleveland, and as the state is suing Columbus over a safe gun storage law, which what they really mean is Columbus has no ability to do this bullshit locality crap because we have state preemption in the state of Ohio, and you cannot break state preemption to pass unconstitutional BS gun laws. Anyway, this child was shot Wednesday morning and remains in critical condition at University Hospitals, according to Cleveland Police Department. She was potentially shot by a younger sibling. Quote, it's an incredibly shocking and sad story, but unfortunately not a surprising one. State rep and piece of shit hate hoaxer Casey Weinstein said, how the fuck is this motherfucker still in our state house is my question, dude. Why is he not in Ohio State prison currently for the shit he's pulled? Literally. I get federally swatted August of 2019. September 2019. This motherfucker commits a hate hoax on himself where he prints off a bunch of tyrant memes, throws them in his own fucking mailbox, and then goes out the next day and is like, oh my god, somebody's sending me fucking memes and threatening my life. No, they weren't, you fucking lying son of a bitch. You did it to yourself. The fact that it was never investigated is absolute bullshit. The fact that you are not currently in either Ohio prison or federal prison for fucking with the U.S. postal system is what it is absolute bullshit entirely. The fact that you're 4 years later still in our fucking state house right now is absolute slap in the face to every single Ohioan in the state right now. And then, mind you, this is the same piece of shit, by the way, Weinstein, who gaslit his own fucking constituency last year, or sorry, the beginning of this year, because it was last year it happened, where you had people who were actually in front of his house to support his dumbass, his fucking pussy ass, had his bitch wife, Amanda Weinstein, who is a professor at one of the local colleges around here, by the way, and that right there should yank her fucking tenure for that shit alone, dude. Had his fucking wife call the fucking cops on these people. Cops came out there and they're like, what's up, man? They're like, oh, we're here to support this dude. And they're like, really? And that's funny because the cops are like, really, why? And I'm like, exactly, dude. Because Weinstein is such a sack of shit, man, for real. And then he wants to sit there and talk about like Holocaust denial and play identity politics all the time and talk about how he's a Jew and all this other shit and what it is, man. It's like, bro, fuck off. Fuck off out of the state house. Fuck off out of the state entirely. Fuck off to see the federal prison is what it is, brother. But anyway, so yeah, you had them do that shit. And then you had Weinstein this past January legitimately fucking lie to everybody about it and was like, oh, about a year ago, there was people outside of my fucking house. And yeah, there's their support, you dumb fuck. If you don't mention that shit, you're talking about it as if they're a bunch of Trump supporters that are going to do a fucking like fake ass January 6th in your home or something, dude. They weren't. They were your fucking constituency that for some reason was actually your voter base and they're to support your dumb ass for some retarded reason. I don't know why. Again, fucking stupid people have voting rights too, apparently, in this country. You know, we can't stop that from happening, honestly, unfortunately. But anyway, continuing on the rest of this, though. Obviously, this Ohio Capitol Journal is fucking kind of scumbag. Lefty kind of rag is what it is as well. And we can take out the rest of this, though. It said, Northeast Ohio Representative, meaning a dipshit Weinstein, said, common sense gun safety laws would have prevented this from happening, something Columbus has recently implemented. No, they wouldn't have, you fucking clown-ass bitch. What would have prevented it is the adult in that situation not having the gun in the reach of a fucking 3 or 4-year-old kid and having it on their person at the time. What would have prevented that is actually having children, whether it be pre-K to 12th grade or whether it be kindergarten to 12th grade, learn proper firearm safety handling and actual basic firearm safety training. That's what would change this stuff. Anyway, and then it goes on to talk about a kid in Columbus, and this is basically just a jerk off fucking leftist story about like, oh, this is why we need gun safety storage laws in Ohio. Fuck you, dude. Cities are trying to do something, Weinstein said. We have a great leadership in our cities, but the state is actively undermining them. No, we actually don't have great leadership in our cities. What we have is a bunch of fucking leftist turd burglars, like that piece of shit Justin Bieber, that motherfucker Andrew Ginther, who, by the way, if I had the money right now, if I was a multimillionaire right now, both of those motherfuckers would be getting massive ass lawsuits directly against their bitch asses for trying to push gun control in this state. The fact that you have Ginther, who is still in office over 6 years later, when for the past 6 to 7 fucking years now that he's been the Columbus mayor, has almost year after year after year tried to push through some bullshit gun control and break state preemption in the process. And the same thing with Nan Whalen when she was Dayton mayor. The same thing with John Crenlin when he was Cincinnati mayor. And the same thing with that idiot Frank Jackson when he was fucking Cleveland mayor a couple years ago. And now Bibb's trying to do his Cleveland mayor. And now you got all these other dipshits trying to do his other mayors now, dude. And what they don't understand is there is a thing called state preemption. You cannot push forward anti-gun fucking unconstitutional horse shit that will in fact get you sued and see you in fucking court for breaking the Second Amendment because you want to sit there and fucking grandstand and act like you're actually doing something when you're not doing anything at all. You're fucking with people's rights to keep and bear arms, dude. You're fucking with people's ability to protect themselves against criminals in their own home in the middle of the fucking night to where they would have to go into one safe and get the fucking gun, another safe and get the fucking ammo and mags and shit like that, and potentially have it all separated again. That's their end game, by the way. It's to have mags in one place, ammo in a second place, gun in the third place, so you're fucking running around while somebody's breaking your home, trying to load a fucking magazine and put in your gun, and actually be able to deal with the fucking threat instead of being able to go to your bedside table, open up a fucking drawer, pull a gun out, and confront the fucking threat. You know, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, shit, man. I could walk 10 feet in this fucking room right now and pick up a fucking weapon right now and be armed if somebody broke in my house currently. But under their bullshit safe storage law garbage, what they want is me and other people like me disarmed so we can be robbed again, so we can be put in a situation where we have to be fucking, 10, 15 seconds later, somebody's on top of us while we're loading a fucking shotgun. And in reality, there's a bunch of assholes, dude, is what it is. And they are the biggest fucking hypocrites of shit I've ever seen in my entire life because most of these fucking people are armed. What they want is they want themselves armed and they want the rest of us fucking disarmed. They want to sit here and fucking bullshit and mander and fucking everything else like that. And in a lot of cases, especially with Mom's Demand Action types and stuff like that, these fucking stupid cunts are so piss scared that they're going to kill somebody themselves that they think by disarming everybody else, it makes them safer, even though they themselves are the mentally ill fucking threat in this case. And like I said in yesterday's, or maybe a couple days ago, whatever I was talking about then, if these people want to disarm themselves, that's fine, dude. They can actually go to law enforcement right now in this country and be like, hey, put me on a prohibited persons list. And they become prohibited from buying a firearm in this country forever. Good luck getting off that, by the way, after the fact, if you want to actually be able to buy guns after that then. But the entire point is, they don't want to do that stuff. They would rather sit there and blanket ban everybody from being able to own anything because they, at the end of the day, what they want is what we saw in 2020, which is tyrannical power grabs, which is taking away more freedoms and more rights from the American people, and then fucking us over whenever they feel like it's okay. It's exactly why pieces of shit, motherfuckers like Casey Weinstein and Allison Russo and the rest of the Democratic Party of the state of Ohio all voted against stripping DeWine or any future governor of emergency powers during the shamdemic. 442 days Ohio was under that bullshit, dude. The last year and a half of my uncle's life I missed out on because of those fucking cunts, dude. And you think I'm not waiting for fucking vengeance to get these motherfuckers, dude? Because I am. Oh, buddy, I fucking am. When things go south in this country, and they will very soon, if fucking chickens are coming home to us, bitches. And it's as simple as that. Just to make sure, just to be clear on that one, just for federal agents out there, it's not a threat. Not trying to threaten anyone. Simply stating a fact. That I am fucking angry at these people, and it's up to me right now, they'd all be in prison. That's as far as it would go, honestly. I'd be leading the charge with handcuffs in hands, what it would be, honestly, truthfully speaking. But that's the problem. We don't have the ability to arrest these people on misdemeanor crimes, is what it is. It's why deprivation of rights or code of law should be a felony in this country. And if we had that ability to do that, dude, I would be literally rounding up everybody, being like, come on, let's go. And it'd be a bunch of people and cops and everything else like that, and just handcuffs in hand at that point with these fucking people. Just mass arresting all of them. So, anyway. But continuing back on that, they did talk about one of the supposed pro-2A groups here, which is Rob Sexton's group. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. And by the way, this is the actual lawsuit that I was going to sue Andrew Ginther and company over, but I couldn't get the funds together to do, is what it is. Yeah, the bullshit Columbus requirement requires gunners to lock up their guns around children when they aren't using them, and ban magazines that can hold 30 or more rounds of ammunition. So any, AR, AK, whatever the case be. Gun rights advocate and Buckeye Firearms director guy Rob Sexton said that isn't legal, because it's not, supporting the state in its ongoing litigation against the city. State law is crystal clear that local governments cannot enact gun restrictions that exceed those that are already in the state law, which would be obviously state preemption. Said cities need to address the real issue with gun violence, he added. Said, quote, I'm noticing far less police presence and far less assertive police presence. Said the Fraternal Order of Police was less than thrilled to hear about those comments. These little fucking douchebags claimed the bravery, tenacity, and dedication of Ohio police officers is on display every day. FOP spokesman Mike. I'm pretty sure that this Mike dude, by the way, was one of the scumbags that was trying to push for gun control last year, a couple years ago, when he was fucking around with our constitutional carry laws and stuff, dude. So yeah, fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike Winman. Claimed, however, this task has become harder every time legislation is passed to make tools or takes tools from our tool belts. Oh, you mean like your ability to beat the fucking shit out of people? You mean like police brutality, dude? You know what? Honestly, I'll tell you what, dude. If I become governor of the state, legitimately, like one of the first 10 things on my bucket list for like shit to enact immediately would be qualified immunity gone. And we see how many cops actually stick around after that then. Because that right there would show you who's actually been on the force because they can fucking beat the shit out of people and get away with it for nothing. And the people that actually stick around when they can be held accountable for their actions is what it is. So, anyway. Where the fuck are we at now? Let's see. Claimed gun laws in particular have been disappearing from our tool belts, making it much more difficult to curb gun violence that is gripping our state. You are such a lying sack of shit, Weinman. You are such a fucking lying prick, dude. What he really means, by the way, is, oh, we can't charge people with mishandling of firearms in a motor vehicle anymore because they actually have the right to carry constitutionally in the state now. That's what he's really talking about. Oh, we can't bust somebody and put the burden of proof on them because they're standing their ground against a fucking criminal now. Yeah, that's the kind of shit they're really talking about, by the way. When they're talking about the gun laws that were passed, they're talking about the pro-2A legislation, stand your ground, constitutional carry, etc., that allows the citizenry to have our right to keep and bear arms in the state now. And here's my thing with that, right? This goes out to every cop in Ohio, man. If you have a problem with the American people in the state of Ohio, or any other state for that matter, having the ability to carry legally and without having to get bullshit permitting systems and having to fucking fill your coffers with cash with those systems, fuck you. Get out of law enforcement. Period. End of story, dude. Because we're sick and tired of it. I personally am. I know for a fact the rest of the network is. I've talked to other 2A groups in the state right now. And yeah, you people are the fucking problem in most cases, dude. Because you're trying to jam up people for nothing. You know, it's like I talked about a few months ago when I was watching that OP live show and they were doing Toledo back then. Mind you, the state of Ohio, the way that we enacted constitutional carry here, I should say the state lawmakers, the way they enacted constitutional carry here is 21 and over. You had a 19-year-old, and by the way, they put Terry stops in there, so you can basically be pulled over if your window tint is like too dark, whatever the case be. Some 19-year-old kid in Toledo a couple months ago, carrying constitutionally, window tint a little bit too dark, cops pull him over, find the gun. Now he has at least 2 felonies on his record for that. Mishandling a firearms motor vehicle, like a F5, F6 felony. And then Trying to think what it was. Selling firearms was one, and then I believe the second was being something about being underage or something like that, which is weird because of the fact you could actually buy a handgun legally in the state of Ohio under the age of 21 to private sale is what it is. So, but yeah, they basically fucked him over with at least 2 felonies is what it was, and turned him into a primitive person for nothing because he wanted to exercise his rights is what it was. It's absolute bullshit. It's unconstitutional, dude. And it's exactly why I am for lowering the age to 18 at this point, honestly. Because the way I feel about it, if you're 18, you can go in the military and you can have a gun, handgun, rifle, whatever the case be. You should be able to have everything across the board at that point, or at least have the ability to carry those things across the board. And if you want to get them from private sales, that's fine, dude. Or you have a family member, father, mother, whatever it is, that wants to give you a gun for a birthday gift or something like that, at age 18 or something. Yeah, go ahead. So, anyway, where are we at now? Okay, so we have that dumbass Fraternal Order Police's statement there. So another issue for Sexton is uniformity. So how could any law-abiding gun owner even know how to drive from their home to their work or to go visit friends if every time they cross a subdivision line between a county or a city that they would not even know where or what or how to store their firearms? We're supposed to be after the criminals, not the law-abiding. And see, that's another thing too, by the way. And this is exactly why I no longer consider myself a law-abiding citizen. I'm a peaceful gunner at this point. And I think everybody else is too, for that matter, in most cases. Because a lot of us have realized in the past 5-10 years or so, a lot of these anti-gun laws are so unconstitutional. Fuck the motherfucking politicians behind them, dude. We're not fucking putting up with it anymore, dude. You know, it's fucking bullshit, dude. You want to sit here and try to fuck with people who are actually going to abide by your bullshit laws? Yeah, that only works to a point, dude, until we're like, no, that's so unconstitutional. Fuck you, we're suing the shit out of you, is what it is. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It's why you have like hundreds of fucking cases, if not thousands of cases right now, from Firearms Policy Coalition alone. And then you got Gunners of America, etc., jumping on those as well. A bunch of other, nationwide orgs and stuff, doing their own things here and there. And it's because people have fucking had it, man. People have had it with having their rights restricted from them and acting like they're the fucking criminals when they're the legal gunners in this country is what it is. And yet, meanwhile, you have these criminals, 4, 5, 6, 40 fucking arrests on their records or more, 8, 10, 12, 20 felonies or more. And yet they're going to sit there and not fucking have these people in prison forever. And go and attack you when these motherfuckers don't give a shit about fucking laws. They're going to go out there, find a fucking gun on the streets or whatever. Maybe it already has a body or two on it. Use it to kill another person then. I mean, shit, man. There's a reason why the guy one of the 3 guys who killed Ace Lucas back in 2020, why this motherfucker sitting in Ohio prison right now on 2 murder charges because the gun that he used to kill Ace that night already had a fucking body on it from somebody else. Because somebody used it to kill somebody, sold it to some fucking middleman on the black market, and then that dude sold it to this fucking criminal to use in that fucking murder. And it's like, bro, these people don't fucking care. All you're doing is fucking with the quote-unquote law-abiding at that point. But again, people are going to be law-abiding to a point when they realize, no, this is absolute bullshit, fuck you, we're going to sue your fucking ass into the ground. And the real problem is, honestly, with many of these lawsuits is they're going against the state or they're going against the city or whatever the case be. In reality, they need to be going against both of those things, but they also need to be going against the asshole motherfucking scumbag ass politicians that are passing the shit to begin with. It needs to be going against the Casey Weinsteins, the Allison Russos, the fucking trying to think who that one guy is recently now. The Attorney General of New Jersey. He's going against these motherfuckers, or hell, even for that same matter, the Attorney General of Washington State, Bob Ferguson. It needs to be their fucking asses, or Jay Inslee for that matter, as governor there. It needs to be these people directly named in fucking lawsuits, or it needs to be Andrew Ginthers and Zach Kleins and stuff like that of Columbus there that are directly named in these lawsuits, man. And you put the screws in these motherfuckers financially, you bankrupt their fucking asses in the court of law, and boom, bang, bang, boom, your shit's all done then. Because I guarantee the first 10, 15 of these fucking politicians that have that happen to them, dude, and go penniless after that, the rest of them are going to be like, oh shit, They ain't fucking around no more. They're going to take us for every dime we have. And they're going to stop enacting this shit. Or they're going to resign en masse from different positions of power. That's what it'll be. And if they don't, they try it again, guess what? You keep doing the same exact thing. It's exactly what's happening right now with the boycotts going on with Target and Bud Light and everything like that. The shit works, dude. You just have to do it the right way now. And the problem is, the real issue that I personally have seen in the past, several years now, I've been going around this country, is when it comes to these nationwide orgs, they'll do it to a point, and it's almost like they're trying to justify their own existence, because I know if they actually were able to overturn everything right now, and we have no Hughes Amendment anymore, we have no NFA anymore, stuff like that, and we actually win, and we have full Second Amendment rights in this country once and for all, that they're going to have no paychecks coming in anymore. And that's the problem. And I have a big problem with those people, dude, because it's like, that's not the fucking point, dude. And the thing is, even in their own lifetimes, it's still going to take 10, 15, 20 years to get there in most cases. So why not be on board and fight the good fight? If you want to make some money in the meantime on that fucking thing, that's cool, bro. But guess what? When it's all said and done, the shit is going to be overturned all the way. And it's going to be the betterment of future generations then. So, anyways. Where the fuck is that now? See, House Bill 51 said Weinstein warned that police can't handle gun violence on their own, especially not with another bill that is meant to loosen gun laws. House Bill 51 would penalize law enforcement for following federal gun laws. No. Let's fucking call you out, Morgan Trow, you fucking stupid cunt. What House Bill 51 does is enact a Second Amendment Preservation Act in the state of Ohio, something obviously Casey Weinstein's fucking little, cuck ass doesn't want, because he loves to put the screws to everybody else, like the good fucking Nazi motherfucker he is as a Jew. And that's the problem right now, dude. He wants to play identity politics, like I'll play him too as well. Fuck you, Weinstein, you douchebag. Yeah, so it's currently HB 51 would force our agencies, quote, to leave federal law enforcement task force and cooperation with those agencies and stop use of federal databases to identify weapons used in violent crimes. That's a lie, by the way. It doesn't do that at all, that last part. So this is not the direction Ohio needs to go to address gun violence. Spearheaded by a group of Ohio gunners, not Rob Sexton and Buckeye Firearms Association. The, quote, controversial legislation is meant to make Ohio a sanctuary state. Yes, it is. It's SOPA, dude. It's exactly what I've been working on since 2019 as a grassroots person. The big difference is that it was Chris Dorr and Ohio Gunners that actually brought it forth as legislation to state lawmakers, what it is. And right now, it's actually still in our committees right now. It's still waiting to be voted out of committee. They could have done it this past week, actually, but they choose not to. And that's the problem with all these rhinos, dude. They're like, oh, no, sorry, can't do that to a floor vote now. So, anyway, let's see who's talking here. Okay, it says right now, Ohio cops have two choices: either enforce federal law, including the new pistol brace ban, or stick to their morals and lose their jobs, aka be an actual oath keeper and, abide by their constitutional oath. Testified Ohio Governor's Jared Taylor, who is not a police officer, says legislation gives them a third option, the option to point to the legislation and refuse to enforce non-constitutional dictate. Exactly, dude. So the way the bill is written, legislation has a seemingly unintended consequence of forcing police to stop enforcing gun laws. No, what it has to do with is them not enforcing unconstitutional gun laws, like pistol brace bans, like fucking all kinds of stupid bullshit like that. You can, here's the thing, man. These people are such liars, dude. This Mike Weinman guy is such a fucking liar. And that's the problem I have with cops entirely in this country, dude. And these fucking politicians do, because they're all a bunch of goddamn liars, is what it is. The biggest issue I have with these people right now is they want to sit here and act as if this is going to end their ability to go after criminals. It's not. What it does is it forces your hand to not enforce unconstitutional bullshit dictates that pieces of shit fucking cheaters like Joe Biden and company want to shove through it now. Like an assault weapons ban or something like that. It would say, no, we are taking shit back into our hands. We are enacting 10th Amendment rights against these motherfuckers at a federal level. And we are not going to enforce their unconstitutional gun bans is what it is. You want to go after criminals? You want to go after crime guns that are stolen and stuff like that? It's fine, dude. Keep doing that. You can still do that under this legislation. You are completely lying your asses off in this Ohio Capitol Journal article. And I'm calling your bitch asses out right now, dude, on that whole thing. Weinman, Trow, etc. Anyway. Let's see. DeWine rewind. So for context, back in January, DeWine vetoed a bill that banned municipalities from regulating flavored tobacco. And it goes and talk about that. It says measure was not in the public interest. He added, said DeWine president. State House reporter Morgan Trow asked Governor DeWine about the lawsuit against Columbus and the new bill. During a press conference Wednesday, she referenced the fact that the governor vetoed the tobacco legislation while citing safety and asked if he would also be vetoing HB 51 for the same reason. Quote, I'm not going to get into litigation that is ongoing, DeWine said when spoke for a minute about tobacco. Said Trow tried re-asking the question, what about gun bills? She was ignored, as she should be, dude. That's the whole point entirely. So when following up with governor's team, spokesman Dan Turney said that tobacco is a public health concern, while gun violence is not. Gun violence could fall into a public safety concern, not health, he added. Exactly, dude. That's the whole point entirely. And the thing is, I love how they always call it gun violence. It's not gun violence, dude. It's gang violence, or it's just violence, period. And that's the entire point of the matter. It's not about gun violence. It's about a bunch of gangbangers. It's about a bunch of kids that are being groomed by these gangbangers to sit here to be fucking doing murders and shit like that to get into their little gangs and stuff, dude. It's about these crazy ass kids that aren't being parented by anybody, especially not fathers, because there's no fathers in these homes, is what it is. And at the root cause of it all, it's all fatherless homes, man. But nobody ever wants to address it. That's why I talk about all the times what it is. Because I'll actually address the issue. It's fatherless homes in many cases. I would say a good 90% of the cases, honestly, could be dealt with actual fathers in the homes, or at least a father figure for these kids to actually talk to and be around and stuff like that, so that they're not, going down these paths that are irredeemable in many cases and becoming career criminals at, 5, 10, 15 years old is what it is. So, anyway. Fuck is that now? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the Nelsonville thing here. So we got in Nelsonville, council divided over who is in charge of the city. Says Nelsonville, Ohio, days after a standing room only Nelsonville City Council meeting devolved into a chorus of shouts. Some council members remain bitterly divided on who is in charge of the rural southern Ohio city, which is, by most accounts, on its sixth city manager since January of this year. So the regular Monday night meeting ended following three tied votes, including one on whether to adjourn the session when council president Tony Dunphy walked out the door as several residents in the crowd heckled him. So the wider question at hand just before, whether to reinstate Bernie Roll, who had served as Nelsonville city manager for just 2 months after he resigned on May 15th and then tried to withdraw his resignation the following day on May 16th. You can't make this shit up, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I had to read this, because it was just that funny. Anyway, it says under city charter, the 5,000 resident city does not have an elected mayor, which is weird because most cities should actually at that point, or at least somebody anyway. But a city manager who is hired by the legislative body. Again, why wouldn't you just have somebody that's like actually voted on by the people, man? Or if nothing else, have like the person that's like the head of the city council actually act as mayor at that point then. It's just weird. Anyway. Says, quote, I have never in all my years witnessed anything like this boondoggle that is going on in this little town, Councilman Glenda Tingle said. So the city manager quits, then resides resignation the next day. Said council held an emergency meeting Monday before to discuss quick rates publicly, and in a non-public executive session, hammered out several other points of contention among members, according to 3 members on the council. So that Bernie guy, in what he said was a, quote, knee-jerk moment, announced that he was quitting after tensions flared between Dunphy and himself. He then left Nelsonville City Hall before council returned for the rest of the meeting. Quote, I just said, you know what? I didn't take this job to be abused. I said, you know what? I resign, and my God, I didn't know that was a death penalty. He said in an interview, as soon as the word got out, I had tons of people saying, please, Bernie, don't resign. We need you. Please come back. Said Rahal changed his mind within the next 24 hours and informed council members through an email titled, I rescind my resignation, although 3 council members answered that they were more than ready to welcome him back, according to the emails obtained by NBC4. Others in a lengthy chain argued he could not just take back his resignation, and the interim Nelsonville City Police Chief, Devin something or other, had assumed the acting city manager role then. Jesus. Yeah, and then some councilwoman said it was BS. Yeah, just all craziness, dude. Yeah, it really is just crazy, dude. And this is the problem with Ohio politics in a nutshell. It's like everybody's corrupt, dude. It really is. Like just more and more. It's like everybody's corrupt right now. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like truthfully with the way things are going right now, we're getting real close to revolution in this country. And I personally would not want to be in political office when that happens because people are going to get pissed and people are going to take their vengeance out on y'all, man. So, not me personally, just to make sure on that one, just to make clear on that one. But, just the people of the city and the state and stuff like that are going to take their vengeance out on these council members and these politicians, et cetera, there because they know that they're the ones that fucked with their lives for years of their lives, is what it is. So, and they were the ones that are also trying to, vote out gun control and try to take away their rights to keep and bear arms and everything else like that for that matter. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we're definitely heading down a dark path right now. I think we're definitely heading for bad times ahead right now. I don't know what the solution is, honestly. I mean, I probably could go into lengthy detail if I actually gave a shit to do so, but I don't really want to get channel striked and or federally swatted again is what it is to go in those details. So, I feel like I'm just going to leave it at that is what it is then. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely going to be people just grassroots coming together is what it is against different factions, against different entities and stuff like that when things finally do hit the fan is what it is. So, I don't know. My best advice to everybody right now, make sure you're stocked up on food, water, guns, ammo, etc. Because you're probably going to need everything when it's all said and done. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And unfortunately, we're still living in that thin veil of civility right now in this country. People started letting those masks slip off in 2020 with the real tyranny behind their eyes is what it is. Some people tried to put the mask back on a little bit. Others just went full tyrant after the fact. And they're just like, you know what, fuck it, keep going. And, some of us, like myself, we just went full constitutional, man. We went fully constitutional. We went, 2A rights back in, oath keeping, creating 2A orgs, etc. And do what needs to be done right now to help get our stuff passed here is what it is. And unfortunately, there are far too many people out there that don't want to do that job because it doesn't pay well, or it doesn't pay at all for that matter. And unfortunately, I don't blame them for trying to get money out of it is what it is, dude. For the supposed pro 2A side, your other 2A rights groups, your Ohio Gunners, your Buckeye Firearms, your Gunners of America, all those people like that, begging for money, and especially if you're like FPC and stuff like that, that just needs the cash for actual lawsuits to fight them and stuff. Like, I agree with those guys kind of asking for, donations and stuff like that, because it's like, yeah, that's the one to do it, that you didn't do it to, honestly, because it's like, especially if you have pistol braces and stuff like that now, like, that would be the org to donate to and stuff and join as well, for that matter, because if I'm not mistaken, if you're actual part of Firearms Policy Coalition right now, no matter what, you'll actually be covered under the injunctions currently. So that would be the one to join. That's one reason why I'm actually glad I don't have a pistol right now, AR pistol, or AK pistol for that matter. And then I decided to go for an AR rifle then. So And it was just because of the fact that I was hearing all this stuff from everybody, and they were like, "Oh yeah, about a year or so, probably gonna try to fuck us over or whatever." And I'm like, probably not a good idea to have that then. So anyway, wait, am I wrong about the FPC thing? I thought they were the ones that did the injunction there. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Let me go ahead and talk about it then. So the link out there. Jump in the back chat here. Talk about it. Sorry, I had to get a drink real quick. But yeah, it's just a bunch of shit, honestly. All these states, all these cities trying to fuck with the rights of the constitutional in this country. Fucking knew you were. Fucking knew you were. You big red. I saw a photo today, actually, of some girl. She was I don't know if she's a ginger per se, but she had a bunch of freckles on her face. It looked like she dyed her hair black, maybe. But dude, I'll tell you what, that girl looked like she would have been ginger, though, for sure. So I'll have to show that to somebody sometime later or something. Jump it off my phone real quick. Because I downloaded the picture on my phone. I need to get off my phone and put it on the thing then. So, but anyway, we're about done here, I think, for the most part. I don't think we got anything else we want to talk about right now. Let me go check Twitter just to confirm on that one. I don't think we're going to mention anything else here today. Jesus. Apparently, Jamie Lee Curtis went all crazy, showing all kinds of sick, disgusting stuff. Huh. Apparently, there is a Twitter account called Crime in New York City. Who knew? I didn't. Yeah, let's see. Crime in NYC. Man approached 52-year-old woman on Broad and East train arriving at Queens Plaza station. He warned the woman to, quote, look somewhere else, then began to attack her. Jesus. Disgusting. Disgusting. Just assaulting the semi-elderly man. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yeah, apparently there was people calling out that migrant hotel there in New York City now. How I guess it's just a giant shithole already, and they're just destroying everything there. So not surprising at all, man. Huh. Let's see, we got apparently Lindsey Graham deciding to forego debt ceiling negotiation talk and fly his bitch ass to Ukraine to assure them that regardless of the will of U.S. voters, Congress will continue to fund Biden's proxy war. Called Trump, DeSantis, RFK liars, saying their opposition to the war was just for show. Fuck you, Lindsey Graham, you scumbag. Like, here's my question. How is this shit not high treason at this point, dude? Like, why is Lindsey Graham still a sitting U.S. senator and not in federal prison for high treason charges? Like, serious question on that one. Absolutely ridiculous, dude. We got this guy saying, truly remarkable and horribly sad indictment on politicians who run these cities. U.S. has third highest murder rate in the world. If you remove Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, and Philadelphia, U.S. is then 189th out of 193 countries in the world. All 5 cities have strict gun control laws and are controlled by Democrats. Yes, they are. And what's funny is, just like people were trying to do the thing the other day about how you had, it was like the top 15 cities or whatever for quote unquote gun violence. 14 of the 15 up till 2022 were run by Democrats. Now 13 of 15 are run by Democrats. And then if you actually break it down by race, I think it's like 8 or 9 of them are black dudes or black females that are running these cities. There are Democrats in the party there. So, yeah. They also tend to be the ones that when they get into office, they'll either hire their brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, whatever the case be, for jobs that they're not actually qualified for, and they usually create these jobs or whatever just to give them like money laundering cash is what it is, or they'll loan pay, one of the two. So, huh. Apparently, there's psychotic lunatics bitching and moaning in front of an elevator. I feel like that's the one dude that was living a life as a chick, though. I can't remember. I'm not going to screen share just because. Oh, actually, now that we're here talking about Texas again, we're going to go back to Texas talk for a second for this one because we are going to finish up with that, actually. So you got breaking as of 16 minutes ago. The, quote, Republican supermajority of Texas House of Reps has voted to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton on a vote of 121 to 23. He will now be suspended from office pending a trial in the state Senate. Here is how every vote or every rep voted. So let's see. So I'm guessing the A's would be people that voted for it, and the N's would be people that were against it, I think. Pretty sure. There we go. Somebody did a readable image here. Let's see. Speaker voted yes. What's that one guy's name? Holland, the douchebag who did the gun control stuff. Of course, he voted to impeach Paxton. Fucking scumbag. Yep. Looks like a lot of A's, man. Like I said, I don't know how it's gonna fail out there or whatever. Nothing else. It looks like Texas might just need a whole bunch of new general assemblies. What it is, dude, just like Ohio needs a new one as well at this point. So anyway, apparently we got a 10-year-old kid reported missing from east side of Columbus on Friday. Hopefully they find that kid. Yeah, and you got scumbag Lindsey Graham fucking hugging Zelensky like a scumbag sack of shit he is. All right. So, yeah, be interesting to see what happens then. For anybody that wants to, I'm going to finish this off. Then, if anybody wants to come in the back chat and bullshit for about 5-10 minutes or so, I'll be here for probably about 10 or 15. And then got some stuff I got to do after that. But other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just to be clear, everything said today was covered First Amendment free speech from the rest of the U.S. Constitution. And reiterate, I was not threatening anyone in this episode. I was not doing anything to anyone in this episode. And I'm simply stating a fact that when things fall in this country, people are definitely going to be getting karmatic justice against them, is what it is. So it's as simple as that. See you guys in the next one.